Our friends at the Kinsmen Club of Cornwall have made the decision to cancel the in-person farmers market this year. However, it will be going virtual. So joining me now from the Kinsmen Club of Cornwall are John Racine and Monty Yancey. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thanks for having us.
All right, so first of all, let's kind of scale back a little bit and look at the decision that was made. We know we were following the situation with COVID-19, so let's talk about how you guys came to the decision to do it this way.
It was a very tough. It was a very tough decision. We had met as a committee, as well as the Kinsmen executive, and unfortunately, with the COVID-19, it would have been very difficult to control how we would lay out the market, how we would control social distancing. We wanted to protect the community, protect our volunteer kinsmen as well. A lot of them are high risk, elderly. We wanted to protect our vendors as well. So that's kind of where the decision came. And then we debated whether to cancel the entire season to the end of October or just kind of go month by month. But we thought it would be more fair to everybody at this point just to basically cancel the entire season that way.
And that being said, of course, we know that markets like the Kinsmen Market are very important to all of the vendors. So you've devised a way with some partnerships to maybe still get people able to access these vendors. So tell me about the switch to the virtual market.
Well, kind of what we're doing is we're using our website and our Facebook kind of like a virtual market where we're providing the information for the vendors as far as their pickup, their payment, stuff like that. So we're not actually handling any of the particulars, but we're providing that information on what they're selling, and then their contact information so that people can hook up with that specific vendor. Because obviously the immune system's huge right now, and eating healthy food, supporting local is a huge thing right now.
Absolutely, and maybe Monty can elaborate a little bit on that as well. Just why is it so important to continue the partnerships with these vendors and give them that resource?
I think the big thing right now is, things are difficult for everybody, including the vendors, and we had to stay very plastic. Like, we had to be able to roll with things. A lot of people have been very upset that we didn't have the market, because while it's true that now more than ever it's important that you eat very healthy, very nutrient dense foods to keep your immune system high, I think what they weren't looking at is we were located on school property. So we have a responsibility to the school as well, and to any changes that they would have in order to start their curriculum again. It was a very difficult decision, and we didn't make it just because, it was an easier way out. But that being said, we want everybody to stay healthy, but we also want the businesses to stay healthy. These farmers depend on our market. So we're doing everything we can to try to give them a platform to still get their produce out to the people.
Excellent. And maybe you can talk to me a little bit about some of the vendors that you've worked with so far to get their information up. Obviously we probably can't name them all, but maybe talk about some of the favorites that you've worked with.
Well, we've seen, unfortunately, we don't get to see the traffic as much. We provide the platform, but as far as knowing whether the customers are reaching out to them, we only have kind of what we've heard back, which is limited, of course. Just Farms seems to be quite happy. Some of them that I was more worried about, they are still doing quite well. Wild Rose, they're very busy with their delivery boxes, and everyone I've talked to seems to be making the best of it. We'll work together, and everybody's going to make it through all this.
Absolutely, and that's maybe one of the silver linings of this crisis is we've been able to see just how adaptive our communities are, and how our community comes together, and that's something that the Kinsmen Farmers Market has always been about as well, not just the actual vendors, but the community that it created.
Yes, it's really about the individual kind of looking out for everybody else. What we've seen is, things we've run into is insurance companies, all the big things, they kind of hiccuped when this happened. So you can't depend as much on somebody outside doing it for your community. You got to roll your sleeves up. You've got to get in there and you've got to help the community. Like there's no alternative for that.
And John, we know as well that this is certainly a trying time for a lot of service clubs as the fundraisers have sort of dried up. So maybe you could give us an update on how the Kinsmen are faring.
Well, like every other service club and stuff too, we've had to cancel a lot of our fundraisers as well, like our pizza party, stuff like that. We had to put our TV bingo on hold. We're currently looking at possibility of bringing that back for the Cogeco Tuesday night TV bingo. So hopefully that'll happen very soon. But what we're really trying to do is push the customers to our website and our Facebook page so that they can see what our vendors, because we have about 30 to 40 vendors, and we'll have this up and running with the updated information by the end of May, because that's whenever we usually start our farmers market, is the end of May. So if you can go to our website at www.cornwallkinsmenfarmersmarket.ca or Facebook at Cornwall Kinsmen Farmers Market. And take a look, because we do have a Facebook group too that's called Shop at Cornwall Kinsmen Farmers Market, and that's where the vendors themselves will put up their latest goods and stuff, and all the contact information for deliveries and payment and stuff will be there as well. So,
well,
one other thing too, go to the link fairly often, because things are progressing. Like we are coming out of the tunnel, so to speak, and there's others community efforts that are happening that we can't really talk about yet, but as they come up, we're all going to work together, and I think there's a few interesting things. So check in with us when we can let you know about some of the new stuff. We'll add to it as much as we can. This is a learning curve, and it's an ongoing process.
Absolutely, and we'll be following all of those things closely as they progress. And on that note, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me to update our viewers on the status of the Kinsmen and the Farmers Market. And it's wonderful to see that it will survive in some form for this year, and on to bigger and better things next year, hopefully, as things return to normal.
Oh yes, it'll definitely be bigger and better next year.
Yeah, we've already got the St. Lawrence College is already waiting for us for next year. So thanks, Gabe.